And let me just briefly, and with the most uncomfortable pivot, recognize that what I'm supposed to cover is the other one in respects to the shutting down of the dispensary in Morrisville.
That's what you're supposed to be reading.
Yeah, so my apologies. I am jumping ship like a little.
Well, let's go into the one that you just read.
So let me just we touched on that one. Let me go to the Morrisville Cannabis Retailer.
Okay.
So we have another one. My bad. Morrisville Cannabis Retailer, Lamoille County Cannabis, and its associated cannabis gummy manufacturer operation, Lindies Kitchen, has been shut down by the Vermont Cannabis Control Board after its owner's legal troubles severely disrupted the business, resulting in an unsanctioned change in management, an unsecured supply of drugs, and allegations of theft. At the end of March, the Control Board issued notices of violation and orders to cease and desist operations at the dispensary and manufacturing site on Stanford Avenue in Morrisville for attempting to change control of a licensee without prior approval of the board. This infraction stemmed from a documented attempt by Matt Lindimer, an owner at both the cannabis shop and gummy manufacturer, to transfer control of the operation to his wife, Kirby Lindimer, without approval from the state. The effort came about a month after Matt Lindimer was arrested for domestic violence. The notice of suspensions alleged that Lindimer exhibited erratic behavior both at his cannabis shop and in the broader community in the month before his arrest, and the suspension of his business license, noting both of his domestic violence arrests and the incident where he crashed his vehicle, but could not recall how the crash had occurred. These incidents and other unspecified incidents of disorder, as it was characterized by the Control Board's investigating agent Dennis McCarthy, prompted the Cannabis Collective, a marijuana grow operation adjoining Lindimer's retail store, to complain to Kent Marcus, a lawyer and minority owner of the Lindimer Cannabis Club and Lindies Kitchen. Marcus, who owns the building where the Lamoille County Cannabis and Lindies Kitchen operated, attempted to evict both businesses, but his ability to respond to the situation was limited as he lives outside of Vermont. As Marcus moved forward in the eviction and the Control Board authorized a few remaining employees to secure the operation's inventory and property liquidation and properly liquidate it, the Lindimers attempted to exert control. The board alleged that Kirby Lindimer threatened and harassed a few staff who remained. According to the screenshots of text furnished to the board, Kirby Lindimer reached out to one of the employees claiming that Matt Lindimer had made her his proxy and ceded management of the business to her. When this employee refused to comply, she told him he was fired, that he was taking food out of her children's mouths, and alleging that Marcus couldn't make any decisions without Lindimer's approval while she viewed what was happening at the business remotely through security cameras. Matt Lindimer also texted the employee affirming that his wife would be taking over the business, and when he didn't receive a reply, asked why he was crushing everything he had built and said that his kids didn't deserve whatever this is. The Control Board cited the communications captured in these texts as evidence that the Lindimers were going through an attempt to continue to operate both the Lamoille County Cannabis and Lindies Kitchen despite Marcus's attempted eviction and the impending cease and desist order from the Control Board. The Control Board determined the Lindimer was incapable of executing his regulatory responsibilities or effectively supervising or responsibly operating both businesses. The situation between Lindimer, Marcus, their affiliates, and the current and former staff is so volatile and uncertain that the CCB cannot determine who has actual control of the premises or who even speaks for the Lamoille County Cannabis and Lindies Kitchen, the Control Board said in one notice. The board summarized that the Lamoille County Cannabis and Lindies Kitchen were effectively unmanaged, face eviction from their premise, have no substantial staff, likely lack funds to pay staff, and are not using their approved cannabis accounts to deposit revenue and pay creditors, and consequently cannot be relied upon to secure their cannabis inventory. As part of the order to cease and desist, Matt Lindimer was barred from the Stanford Avenue operation without prior approval of the Control Board. Lindimer and Marcus are both also responsible for paying a $10,000 fine through a pre-hearing conference was scheduled to allow the two parties to attempt to appeal the decision or negotiate a different penalty. And as wrap-up, Lindimer and his legal representative, Marcus, did not return requests for comment. There is allegations of theft, because domestic violence and losing your shit is not enough. During McCarthy's investigation, aggrieved creditors showed up at the dispensary seeking remand for a bounced check for $5,000. Following McCarthy's initial investigation, Lindimer, or someone acting on his behalf, had withdrawn all the funds from the business's respective accounts, leaving no funds to pay employees, so they're screwing their staff, according to the Control Board, leaving Marcus to work out an arrangement to pay unpaid employees. Holland Cannabis, not to be confused with Jamie Pearson's New Holland Cannabis, a cultivator based in the Northeast Kingdom town of Holland, also reached out to the Control Board after the Morrison cannabis business was shut down and alleged that they were owed the cannabis grower over $31,000 as a result of alleged stolen product bounce checks and unpaid invoices. So let me finish this off. Now, the Lamoille County Cannabis leaves a much more crowded market than it found, with 3 other retail shops in Morrisville, including one that also manufactures gummies. Before the suspension of his license and his uncertain future as a cannabis entrepreneur and alleged wife beater, Lindies had also made himself the public face of legalized retail cannabis in Morrison, eager to be among the first to open a cannabis shop in town. Cannabis was one of my passions, he had said. I want to give back to the community is something I'm passionate about.